Chapter 11. The three beauties of Shrek are all love brains. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Listen. How could a kind-hearted person make such bizarre remarks as if he clearly knew that it was his side that was looking for trouble? Similarly, it is absolutely impossible for a truly kind person to admit that Flanders' words about not causing trouble are mediocre. Unexpectedly, Oscar not only made such weird remarks, he also boasted proudly in front of Tang San for Flanders. He obviously strongly supported the saying that those who dare not cause trouble are mediocre. My evaluation of Oscar is that he is a sinister villain who is truly bad to the core but very good at pretending. Oh, right. In the original work, Oscar and Ning Rongrong finally came together, but maybe Ning Rongrong saw clearly what kind of person Oscar was later. So, the Shrek 7 monsters and Bai Qinxiang from the Min clan made up exactly 4 couples, but only Oscar and Ning Rongrong left no offspring. Douluo Bai Qinxiang said, "No, I just ate melons and watched a show. Why did I end up eating them on my own head?" Arranged according to the age of the Shrek 7 monsters, the next one is Tang San, Tang Buddha, the male protagonist of the novel Douluo Er. However, the main protagonist has too many black spots. If I really had to write it, I wouldn't be able to finish it in 500,000 words. Therefore, I will skip it now. Anyway, he is already the protagonist in my diary in my heart, so there is no rush. Douluo Er Xiaowu, 500,000 words. Is it that exaggerated? Douluo Er, alas. It's a pity that I can't do anything now. Then the next one is Ma Hongjun. Ma Hongjuan's words have been said before. Except for being a bit astringent, everything else is okay. If I were asked to choose a friend among the Shrek 7 monsters, Ma Hongjun would be my only choice. Even my favorites Xiao Wu, Ning Rongrong, and Zhu Zhuqin could only stand aside. Next is Xiao Wu. Although this little rabbit is the heroine of Douluo Er, there are many people who hate her in the original world. In the humanities about Douluo, readers often request that Xiao Wu be made into a spicy rabbit head. Douluo Er Xiaowu, have I done something outrageous? Douluo Er Xiaogang, Hun Tan. Who is so cruel? My daughter is so good, but you still bully her. Speaking of which, regarding Xiao Wu's matter, apart from the fact that Xiao Wu is a love brain, I think Xiao Wu is not wrong, and those who hate Xiao Wu are not wrong either. The only thing that is wrong is Tang 3. You know, Xiao Wu is the reincarnation of a 100,000-year-old mango rabbit. No, it's the shape of a 100,000-year-old soft-bone rabbit. Douluo Er Xiaowu, you are the love brain, you are the porridge rabbit. As a soul beast that has just transformed, she doesn't understand the etiquette and messy rules of human society at all. At this time, Xiao Wu's instinct is to use the various acting styles of the soul beast, which is not wrong at all. If someone is willing to teach her properly at this time, Xiao Wu's behavior style will definitely change. Unfortunately, Xiao Wu was unlucky. When she first came to Notting College to study, she met Tang San, a person who was even more unreliable than she had just transformed. As a result, Xiao Wu naturally grew more and more crooked. Fortunately, Xiao Wu is very beautiful when she grows up, and a large number of people, including me, follow her facial features to speak for her, which prevents her from being criticized. After writing this, Shen Fan relied on the memory in his mind and sent the picture of Xiao Wu playing in the stream when he grew up to his diary. Picture of Xiao Wu, click to view. Douluo Er Xiaogang, is this Xiao Wu when she grows up? As expected, just like what the owner of the diary wrote, she is truly a beautiful woman. Douluo Er Xiaowu, I miss those days so much. Now let's talk about Ning Rongrong. Ning Rongrong and Xiao Wu are basically in the same boat, and have been yelled at by many people. Actually, those people are just haters of the rich. What is it saying that Ning Rongrong has princess disease? It's funny. Ning Rongrong's status is several times higher than that of a real princess. In the entire Douluo world, there are girls whose status is undisputedly higher than Ning Rongrong's. Only Bibi Dong and Qian Qian from Wuhuan Palace are the only girls. Ren Shui, and Bo Saishi from Poseidon Island. Others, even titled Douluo, may not be higher than Ning Rongrong in terms of status. With such status, why is Ning Rongrong so proud? Actually, Ning Rongrong's only problem is that like Xiao Wu, the porcupine rabbit, she is also a love brain. This is why I said before that I would rather choose Ma Hongjun as my friend. If I were just ordinary friends with Ning Rongrong and Xiao Wu, I would be worried that because Tang San and Oscar, the real ones, said something bad about me, they would stab me in the back. Love brain is really something you can't afford to offend. Douluo E Ning Rongrong, that's nonsense. How could I be such a person? Ning Rongrong, the second Douluo, perhaps the owner of this diary is right. After 10,000 years of growth, Ning Rongrong, the goddess of 9 colors, is no longer the silly sweet girl she was before. Douluo Er Xiaowu said, that girl Xiao Wu can't really be so unreliable, right? Ro Qingshuang was a little anxious at this moment. She really wanted to be resurrected, and then capture Xiao Wu and teach him well for a few years. Forget it, let's not talk about Ning Rongrong and Xiao Wu. Let's talk about the last monster among Shrek's 7 monsters, the nether civet cat Zhu Zhuqing. I don't know if her cat tail is real. When you get the chance, you must try it. Douluo E Zhu Zhuqing, Liu Erlong. Speaking of Zhu Zhuqing, she is also a love brain. It's just that it's much better than Xiao Wu and Ning Rongrong. At least he won't attack his friends just because of Dai Mubai's genuine words. Just in terms of IQ, it doesn't seem to be too high. Douluo E Zhu Zhuqing. Take her sister Zhu Zhuyun as an example. I really want to ask Zhu Zhuqing, does she really think that her luck is so good? Every time Zhu Zhuyun is going to do evil things to her, she is lucky to find out in advance, right? No way. No way. I don't even dare to write this in novels. Also, when she escaped from Star Luo City and went to Shrek Academy to find Dai Mubai, she didn't really think that she had the ability to survive with her own ease in a pursuit that was several times her own in terms of quality and quantity. At the cost of being injured, you can escape safely to Soto City, right? Obviously, that time it looked like he was chasing Zhu Zhuqing. In fact, Zhu Zhuyun was afraid that something would happen to his sister on the road, so he sent his cronies to escort her all the way. Chapter 12 Shameless Tang San. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Douluo God Realm. Bang. In a cold palace, the teacup in Zhu Zhuqing's hand, the god of speed, slipped. He stared blankly at the 3 words Zhu Zhuyun on the copy of the diary, and an inexplicable emotion suddenly surged in his heart. Did you really protect me secretly back then? Coco, why have you never told me, that it seems that sisters are connected, and there seems to be God's will in the dark? When Zhu Zhuqing, the god of speed, asked his doubts in his heart, Zhu Zhuyun, who was 10,000 years ago, was looking at the blue sky with a faint smile in his eyes. With a touch of longing. Zhuqing, don't blame me. You are still young and too naive. If I tell you all the truth, the royal family and our Zhu family will definitely see the clues in you. We are still too weak now and have no ability to resist at all. Zhuqing, do you know? The hurt is on your body, and the pain is on my heart. But in order to firmly grasp the initiative in dealing with you, I can only make you feel a little wrong from time to time. At least, when the initiative to deal with you is in my hands, I can guarantee that you will only be slightly injured at most, but not seriously injured, let alone die. At first, I just relented a little bit, but my other sister fell into a place of no return. I will never allow you, whom I love the most, to fall into that hopeless and helpless situation. While muttering to himself, Zhu Zhuyun's eyes slowly became a little blurry, and he vaguely seemed to see the grown-up Zhu Zhuqing, looking at him with a complicated expression. Yes. Back then, when I didn't have the ability to resist, even if you told me everything, it wouldn't have any effect, and it might even bring me danger. And when I finally have the ability to resist, even if you say it, I won't believe it, and I may even hate you even more for it. After a long time, Zhu Zhuqing, the god of speed, probably figured out the key. He walked out of the palace in silence and looked at the courtyard where Zhu Zhuyun lived with a complicated look on his face. It's a pity that 10,000 years is so far away, and that courtyard has long since changed. Douluo Shrek Academy. Zhu Qing. Are you okay? In the room, Liu Erlong looked worriedly at Zhu Qing, who was already in tears, and patted her on the back. I'm fine. I originally thought that I no longer had a family, and even my sister, who had always cared about me since childhood, no longer wanted me. Now through this diary, I know that my sister may have always cared about me. At the same time, I feel sorry for my sister. I can run away if I can't bear it anymore, but she can't. Zhu Qing has been raised by Zhu Zhuyun since she was a child, so even if there is a slight possibility that Zhu Zhuyun still loves her, it is enough to rejuvenate her originally dark and dull heart. Do not worry. We have the reward of a copy of the diary, and sooner or later we can become titled Douluo. When the time comes, we will accompany you to the Star Luo Empire to get your sister over. I think as long as Emperor Xingluo is not stupid, he will never refuse. Hearing this, Ning Rongrong, who knew the rules of Xingluo Dai family and Xingluo Zhu family, patted his little white rabbit and said, after a pause. Ning Rongrong glanced at Zhang Zhu, who was discovered and brought over by Liu Erlong early this morning, and then spoke again. We don't necessarily need to ask for people. Maybe, Zhuqing's sister also has a copy of the diary. After all, Ning Rongrong is the next leader of the Jiubao glazed sect who has been trained since childhood, and he still has the abilities he should have. In her mind, even a girl like Zhang Zhu, who has no other advantages besides good looks and gentleness, can have a copy of the diary. There is no reason that a girl like Zhu Zhuyun, who is both smart and beautiful, should not have a diary. Copy, of course. Ning Rongrong didn't mean to look down on Zhang Zhu, he just came to the conclusion based on various conditions. Just when the girls in various worlds either chose to watch the show because it had nothing to do with them, or revealed their true feelings because it had nothing to do with them, new content appeared on the copy of the diary. Speaking of words. When I go out, besides going to the Botanical College to confirm whether it is an anime or a novel, the first thing I want to do is go to Douluo's Ice and Fire Eyes to have a look. I hope the plot has not developed to the point where Tang San wiped away the treasures of heaven, material and earth in Douluo's Ice and Fire Eyes. Otherwise, Douluo will suffer a big loss. Douluo Er Xiaowu, Grandpa suffered a big loss. What's the loss? But where did the owner of the diary talk about the two eyes of ice and fire? Could it be Grandpa's medicine garden in Sunset Forest? I remember that there happened to be a blue and red spring in that medicine garden, which perfectly matches the attributes of ice and fire. It's funny to say. Douluo truly regarded Tang San as his old friend, but Tang San just treated him like a piece of shit. I remember that after Douluo and Tang San became friends, Douluo saw that Tang San was very coveted for the herbs in his medicine garden, and Douluo kindly said that he could give Tang San a few plants. This is a polite statement. But for anyone who wants to order some face, picking half of the herbs would be considered greedy. But our protagonist Tang San doesn't care about this. Not only were none of the herbs picked from the Binghua Lianjian distributed to Douluo, the owner of the herbs, but almost all the herbs in the Binghua Lianjian were all gone. Later, Douluo returned to Binghua Lianjian and saw that his medicine garden was dug up 3 feet by Tang San, and he was also very angry. The results of it. Not only did Tang San not feel the slightest bit ashamed, he also said with disapproval that Douluo was stingy. I can only say. I, Shen Fan, have never seen such a shameless person. He simply takes his selfishness to the extreme. Douluo Er Xiaowu, this. Douluo Er Xiaowu, I told Grandpa a long time ago that Tang San is not a good person, and now he is at a disadvantage. At this time, Douluo Yen didn't know what the herbs picked by Tang San meant. Apart from feeling unworthy for her grandfather, she didn't take the herbs to heart, perhaps, until the second when Douluo's life came to an end, he didn't know what he had missed. To put it simply, most of the herbs in Douluo medicine garden are fairy grass. If an ordinary soul master with low martial soul quality and poor cultivation talent is allowed to take a piece of fairy grass, then this soul master will have at least the qualifications to reach a title Douluo, and if it is an innate soul power of level 7, if a genius soul master takes a piece of immortal grass, he will definitely become a peerless Douluo. Chapter 13 Xiao Wu, are you sure that child is mine? You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Douluo Yishiandu lives in a dormitory of Douluo Royal Academy. Boom. It's too much to bully someone. Du Guyen slapped the tea table in front of him with his palm, his eyes full of anger. This Tang San has indeed gone too far. On the side, Yi Lingling also rarely expressed his opinion. If it's just some relatively precious herbs, for the sake of Tang San detoxifying my grandfather, it doesn't matter if I give them all to him. But he shouldn't just rely on my grandpa not understanding those jelly herbs, so he should treat my grandpa like a fool and deceive him. What's more, as the owner of the diary said, Tang San is too greedy. Isn't he afraid of being guilty of having a jade? Du Guyen was not a stingy person, but Tang San's behavior this time really crossed her bottom line. What are you going to do? Don't forget, Tang San is Tang Hao's son. Seeing that Du Guyen was a little over the top, Yi Lingling quickly reminded him. The owner of the diary continued writing. Let's continue watching. Let's talk about other things after reading it. After saying that, Du Guyen suppressed the anger in his heart and looked at the copy of the diary in front of him again. Actually, it doesn't matter whether it's a title Douluo or a peerless Douluo. The truly powerful thing about the fairy grass is that if it is taken by a soul master with innate 10th level soul power, as long as one is willing to work hard to practice, becoming a god will no longer be a legend. As soon as these words came out, let alone the sensation caused by the various heroines and supporting characters in Douluo world, even Douluo Er's heroines, and supporting characters who were still doubting their lives because the real Poseidon Tang San was completely different from the flawless Poseidon Tang San they knew, all turned around. God, he focused on the words become a god and will no longer be a legend, his eyes filled with brilliance. Of course, this is not absolute. As long as you are lucky, even if your innate soul power is only level 7 or even lower, you can still become a god by taking a piece of fairy grass. Like the first generation Shrek 7 monsters in Douluo 1 world. Except for Xiao Wu, the other 7 of them took the grass jelly, and in the end all 6 of them became gods. Douluo E Zhu Zhuyun, did Zhu Qing finally become a god? Very nice. Douluo Xiaowu, so, what about me? Xiao Wu was a little dumbfounded. Xiao Wu, don't be impatient. It should be that the owner of the diary hasn't written about you yet. Next to him, Liu Erlong could only comfort him like this. After all, the owner of the diary said from the beginning that Xiao Wu was a tragedy from beginning to end, and she was afraid that if she comforted her randomly, Yuan would not come back later. I hope so. At this time, Xiao Wu also remembered that the owner of the diary said that she was a tragedy, and her eyes suddenly dimmed. The other side, the Pope's palace in Wuhuan City. Teacher. This fairy grass. Hulayina said cautiously, just now, when the owner of the diary mentioned that jelly grass can give people the qualifications of title Douluo and peerless Douluo, she suggested going to Shrek Academy to have a look. However, her teacher Bibi Dong remained silent. I will think about it. Now it's time to read the diary. Seeing that her disciple Hulayina wanted to say something more, Bibi Dong sighed inwardly and waved her hand. Is teacher. Hulayina did not dare to disobey Bibi Dong and nodded in disappointment. Dai Mubai, the second-level god of war. Oscar, the second-level god of food. Tang San, a first-level god, Poseidon, is also half a god king, Shura god. Ma Hongjun, the second-level god Phoenix god. Ning Rongrong, the second-level goddess 9 colors goddess. Zhu Zhuqing, the second-level god of speed. If I remember correctly, this should be the throne that the Shrek 7 devils will inherit in the future. Oh. Correct. I almost forgot that there is Xiao Wu, the porcelain rabbit. Strictly speaking, she did not inherit the divine throne. Because at that time, she had become the scabbard of the Shura sword, sharing the position of Shura god with Tang San. In other words, Xiao Wu and Tang San are the true god king Shura when they unite. Douluo Er Xiaowu, if you say I turn into Tang San's clothes, I can understand. What's the trick of turning into a scabbard? Also, I've turned into a scabbard, so how can I possibly have a child with Tang San? Are you sure that child is mine? Xiao Wu is really miserable. They are all on par with the future Ma Hongjun. I remember that at the beginning, Ma Hongjun was going to inherit the throne of the first-level god Fire God, not the second-level god Phoenix God. But because Ma Hongjun did not work hard enough when he was young, he failed to inherit the throne of the god of Fire, so he had no choice but to inherit the throne of the god of Phoenix. This also caused Ma Hongjun a lifetime of pain. Because only first-level gods can take people to the god realm, but second-level gods cannot take people to the god realm. So, Ma Hongjun, who only inherited the second-level god, went to Tang San, hoping that Tang San would give him one of the places to take people to the god realm, so that he could take his wife Bai Qinxiang to the god realm. Originally, Ma Hongjun thought that with his relationship with Tang San and Bai Qinxiang's status as Tang San's cousin, he would definitely be able to get a place in the god realm. However, a dramatic scene occurred. Tang San, who had no shortage of places at all, said a lot of righteous nonsense to Ma Hongjun, such as this is the rule of the god realm, and I can't break the rules of the god realm. In short, at the end of the lecture, Tang San was unwilling to take Bai Qinxiang to the god realm. Douluo Er, how could this happen? Is it true that the current mistress is no longer my son? Douluo Tang Yuehua, our Haotian sect is sorry for the Min clan, the second brother's son. Douluo Er Tangya, impossible, absolutely impossible. Tangya pulled her hair in pain, unable to accept that the legendary first-generation head of the Tang sect without any shortcomings could be such a person. Actually, I'm not surprised at all by Tang San's behavior. For Tang San, except himself, everyone else is a tool that he can use. Now that Ma Hongjun has no use value, Tang San may not even be willing to give a copper soul coin to Ma Hongjun, so how could he possibly give Ma Hongjun a place to go to the god realm? This Ma Hongjun is also stupid. I really thought that when Tang San gave him the fairy grass, he really regarded Ma Hongjun as his brother. What are you thinking about? If you weren't needed in the elite competition, or if you weren't used in dealing with the Wuhuan palace, he wouldn't even bother to say a word to you. Tang San is the type. If your talent is much weaker than him, then you are not qualified to be his brother. If your talent is stronger than him, then you have a way to kill him. Only your talent is only slightly lower than him. If you can help him a little, then you are qualified to be his brother. Chapter 14 Liu Erlong, it seems that Xiaogang has accepted a white-eyed wolf. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. I don't know if Ma Hongjun discovered a seemingly small but actually huge problem at that time. When Tang San was weaker than Dai Mubai, he called Dai Boss one after another. When Tang San became stronger than Dai Mubai, the name he called Dai Mubai changed from Dai Boss to Mubai. Character is revealed in small matters. Based on the above points, it is obvious that Tang San is simply a toy who sees what others do, and his attitude towards outsiders is determined based on the comparison between his own strength and the strength of the other party. At that time, Tang San was already a first-class god and half-god king, and his strength was no longer comparable to that of Ma Hongjun and others. Tang San did not attack Ma Hongjun because Ma Hongjun asked him for a place to go to the god realm. Perhaps this was the greatest honor Tang San could give Ma Hongjun. After all, even Yu Xiaogang, the teacher who Tang San said personally, once a teacher, always a father, Tang San didn't bring him to the god realm, so what do you, Ma Hongjun, mean to you? Douluo Erlong, it seems that Xiaogang has accepted a white-eyed wolf. Douluo Bibi Dong said, I gave Tang San to Xiaogang as my apprentice. Did I make a mistake? Never mind. It was just using Tang San. If Tang San doesn't take Xiaogang to the god realm, wouldn't it be better for me to take Xiaogang to the god realm? What's more, The diary also said that Tang San will be the enemy of Wuhuan Palace in the future. Based on this, there is no need for me to trouble Tang San. Ha. I suddenly thought of a joke about you Xiaogang and Tang San. Tang San, what, Gunzi wants to go to the God Realm, / Chapter 15 Bibi Dong, I don't believe it anyway. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Douluo Er Shrek Academy Sanmei Dormitory. I was the one who killed Grandpa Jian and Grandpa Bone. It was me who ruined my father's lifelong dream. It's me. Everything is me. Perhaps the owner of the diary is right. The descendants of our Qibao glazed sect may really resent me in their hearts. Ning Rongrong's eyes were red and she was mumbling to herself with tears on her face. Rongrong. Do not cry. Nothing has happened yet. You still have a chance to change, right? That while Zhu Zhuqing was talking, Liu Erlong also stepped forward and took Ning Rongrong into his arms without saying a word as a gesture of comfort. As for Jiangzhu and Xiao Wu, they stood aside and did not move. Jiangzhu didn't know what to say because she wasn't familiar with Ning Rongrong. Xiao Wu was afraid that going up to comfort him would have the opposite effect because of Tang San's relationship. Dong dong dong. Just when there was no other sound in the dormitory except Ning Rongrong's crying, there was a sudden knock on the door. Who? Xiao Wu asked as she walked out of the small room and opened the door. Why you? Seeing the person coming, Xiao Wu subconsciously exclaimed. What's wrong? Why can't it be me? Xiao Wu. Can you tell me, brother, what happened to you? Tang San at the door was smiling, but seeing Xiao Wu's strange behavior, his brows immediately wrinkled again. It's not convenient for me to talk to you right now. You should leave first. I'll come find you later. Xiao Wu glanced at Xiao Jian and said softly. Hearing this, Tang San frowned even more tightly, but before he could speak, a roar came from the small room. Tang San, give me gun. The next second, Ning Rongrong appeared in the living room, looking at Tang San as if he wanted to devour anyone. What did you say? Tang San's expression turned cold. He felt that Ning Rongrong was really an ungrateful white-eyed wolf. Did she forget that not long ago, he gave her the fairy grass to help her evolve her martial soul into the 9-treasure glazed tile pagoda? I said. Ugh. Next to him, Zhu Zhuqing, who didn't want Ning Rongrong to make things worse, saw that Ning Rongrong wanted to continue to quarrel with Tang San, so he quickly covered Ning Rongrong's mouth and dragged Ning Rongrong back to the small room. Elder brother. Rongrong is in a bad mood today, don't argue with her. Seeing Zhu Zhuqing close the door of the small room, Xiao Wu explained for Ning Rongrong. Is her old habit of being arrogant coming out again? Tang San did not respond to Xiao Wu's words, but asked instead. I said that. Rongrong is in a bad mood today. Don't you believe me? Xiao Wu waved her hands impatiently. Of course I believe you. You are my sister. If I don't trust you, who can I trust? Tang San said with an aggrieved smile. That's good. If you believe me, then you should leave now. After Su lost his temper, Xiao Wu's unhappiness was somewhat relieved, and his tone was much better than before. All right. Tang San nodded and prepared to turn around and leave. Elder brother. Ambrosia, can a person really only take one plant in his life? However, just as Tang San turned around, Xiao Wu's voice sounded faintly. Certainly. Hearing this, Tang San's expression froze, then he immediately put on a smile and said with utmost certainty. I see. After getting the answer, Xiao Wu closed the door expressionlessly. What happened? Why did Xiao Wu suddenly ask about the fairy grass? Outside the door, Tang San always felt that something was wrong, but he couldn't find anything wrong. He could only walk towards the training ground while thinking about everything that had happened recently. At this time, Shen Fan didn't know that because of the diary he wrote, Ning Rongrong broke through his defense and almost quarreled with Tang San. He just paused for a moment to drink a glass of water and then started writing again. Back to Dugubo. I really don't know what Dugubo thinks. The Tiando royal family invited him to make offerings, but he was unwilling. The Wuhuan palace invited him to be an elder, but he was unwilling. Tang San invited him to be the honorary principal of Shrek Academy, and he actually agreed. Tang San gave your medicine garden to Huohuguang, so you don't blame him, but you still accepted Tang San's invitation. Should I say you are generous, or should I say you are out of your mind? Could it be that just because Tang San helped you and your granddaughter detoxify, you can agree to everything? Have you never thought that Tang San really doesn't want to help you get rid of all the toxins? DouluoDalu, what, how dare Tang San? Seeing this, Duguyen jumped up. Tang San told you that you can introduce poison into your own soul bones. Have you never considered whether this method is really permanently feasible? What will Duguyen's descendants do? Let's put it this way. Introducing poison into one's soul bone can indeed ensure that one is fine for a period of time. But the capacity of a soul bone is limited after all. Once the toxins in the soul bone exceed the limit that the soul bone can withstand, then, with this detoxification method, you, Dugu, are still happy. Let me ask you, what are the benefits of joining Tang San's camp? Except for barely helping you detoxify half of the poison, you won't get anything else. Wrong. You also get a bad reputation. After all, who made you in the future, instigated by you Xiaogang, poison all the 500,000 people in the entire city to death? Boom. Another super big melon, but this super big melon made the faces of all the girls change, and their impressions of you Xiaogang and Dugu suddenly dropped to the freezing point. Originally, most of the heroines and supporting characters in various worlds still felt that Dugu was pitiful, but now they can only say that he deserves to be killed, and that he deserves to be killed. Bibi Dong, that's nonsense. Xiaogang is kinder than anyone else in the world. How could he encourage Dugu to do such a thing? I don't believe it anyway. Liu Erlong, damn it. What level is Xiaogang? How many levels is Dugu? If it wasn't Dugu's own will, how could Xiaogang possibly order Dugu? Douluodalu, how could my grandfather do such a thing? I admit, my grandfather is not a good person, but he is definitely not a bad person. If you want to say that my grandfather killed 50 people, I believe it. But if you say 500,000 people, I absolutely don't believe it. Actually, to put it bluntly, as long as Tang San is willing to give Dugu a plant of fairy grass, the Dugu family will no longer face the problem of martial soul backlash. Unfortunately, Tang San knew all this, but he was unwilling to give a piece of fairy grass to Dugu. It's really funny to say that it is obviously the Dugu family's fairy grass, but the Dugu family didn't get the last one. Chapter 16 Starting to write about Tang Wutong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Speaking of words. Dugu's vision is not good, but his granddaughter Dugu is very good. I remember that Dugu was the only female supporting character in the entire Douluo world who hated Tang San, and the only female supporting character who truly saw through what kind of person Tang San was. It's just that Dugu is a fool. He doesn't believe in his granddaughter, but instead believes in that Tang San. He even wants to betroth his granddaughter Dugu to Tang San. Douluodalu, how come I didn't know about this? Hateful. Grandpa is just messing around. The owner of the diary is right, Grandpa is a big fool. Dugu was so angry that she wanted to pull out all of Dugu's beard. Fortunately, Tang San refused at that time with the excuse that Dugu might already have someone he liked. Otherwise, if Dugu is really together with Tang San, it is estimated that the day when Tang San no longer needs Dugu will be the day when Dugu officially ascends to heaven. I can even imagine an incredibly touching story. Under the witness of Dugu, Tang San and Dugu reluctantly got married. After the marriage, Dugu always spoke coldly to Tang San because he was dissatisfied with Tang San's behavior. And Tang San also felt that Dugu was not the same person as him. So, at a certain appropriate time, Tang San used his Tang sex poison technique to knock Dugu down, so that Dugu would not die, but would never wake up again. In this way, Dugu Yen fell into an eternal coma. In order to prevent Dugu Bo from doubting him, and to continue to use Dugu Bo, and at the same time to establish himself as a loving and good husband, Tang San never left the unconscious Dugu Yen. Take good care of it. In the end, when Tang San finally reached the highest level amidst the praises of everyone in the world, Dugu Bo was completely useless. Dugu Yen also coincidentally stopped breathing at this moment, seemingly because he saw his husband. She finally became successful and did not want to drag her husband down all the time, so she left with peace of mind. At the funeral, some people said that Tang San was such a good husband and never left his unconscious wife. Others said that being able to marry Tang San was a blessing that Dugu Yen had earned in his previous life. However, no one said that Dugu Yen was a good husband. How much did the family help Tang San? Why was Dugu Yen, a good person, suddenly unconscious? The girls, the story is good. I suggest you write it in 1,000,000 words. Douluo Yen, okay. I like choreographing so much, don't you? Shinfan. I remember you. Ha. Just kidding. Dugu Yen is the person I like, let alone Tang San. Also, Yu Tianheng, don't even think about it. Jia. It's not right. Why do I feel like a villain? It is indeed wrong. I'm not a good person to begin with, why do I look like a villain? At least I am real and not hypocritical. I am not like Tang San, who is called Bing Qin Yu Jia Tang San Xiao. I am Shen Liumang, the bandit bully. Douluo Dugu Yen said, this Hundan actually targeted me. Dugu Yan's little fist clenched loudly, actually. I feel that following me is the best and most appropriate choice for Dugu Yen. Do not forget. Dugu Yen, like Dugu Bo, is full of poison. Does Yu Tianheng dare to touch Dugu Yen? Aren't you afraid that your dapeng will be broken? Douluo Dugu Yen, this Liumang. Girls. But I am different. I can use my points to exchange for a book of true methods specifically for poisonous cultivators to practice from the diary mall. As long as Dugu Yen practices this true method, she can control the poisons on her body at will. From then on, she no longer has to worry about the poisons on her body. Douluo Dugu Yen, a true method specially trained by poison cultivators. Besides, if Dugu Yen follows me, then, treasures like the ice and fire eyes will always be in the hands of the Dugu family. Don't look at the fairy grass around the ice and fire eyes now, they have already been brought to disaster by Tang San. However, the eye of ice and fire itself is a priceless treasure. As long as the plant is planted near the eye of ice and fire, the growth rate of the plant will be dozens or hundreds of times faster. In the original work, Tang San later moved his Ma Silver Emperor Yin to the vicinity of the ice and fire eyes. As a result, Yin, who has practiced near the ice and fire eyes for several years, has almost achieved the same results as those who have practiced outside for thousands of years. All the girls, hiss. Douluo Dugu Yen, no way. When it comes to Tang San moving Yin to plant near the ice and fire eyes, I have something to complain about again. This Tang San really took his shamelessness to the extreme. The ice and fire eyes clearly belong to the Dugu family, but Tang San actually transferred Yin and Tang Hao directly on his own initiative. Isn't it obvious? Do you want to take the ice and fire eyes as your own? In fact, this is indeed the case. In the Douluo II era, the ice and fire eyes were already owned by Tang San. Douluo Dugu Yen, Tang San. Dugu Yen roared angrily, and the spiteful look in his eyes made Yi Lingling tremble next to him. However, Yi Lingling also understood Dugu Yen's current mood. This Tang San was simply not a human being. He was trying to rip off the hair of Yen Yen's family, and he was still trying to rip off all his hair. I don't know what happened in the middle, why the Dugu family's ice and fire eyes became Tang San's. However, based on my understanding of Tang San, the method must be very dirty. After all, for his own benefit, Tang San could use any means necessary to use his biological daughter Tang Wutong. A Dugu Bo who had no ties to relatives or friends would feel even less stressed if he was tricked. Douluo Er Xiaowu, what's going on? Didn't you say that Xiaoqi went to the lower world just for fun? Douluo Er Xiaowu, Tang Wudong. My daughter, since we have already talked about Tang Wudong's dog leash, let's talk about Douluo Er first. It just so happens that we don't have to think about who to start with. Let's just write about Tang Wudong. Speaking of words. It would be great if the diary I wrote could be seen by Xiao Wu from DouluoDalu. This is a huge critical hit at the beginning. Guaranteed that Xiao Wu was so angry that she staggered around. Wrong. It should be to ensure that Xiao Wu is so angry that she is charred on the outside and tender on the inside. It doesn't seem right either. Forget it, Tang San's initial critical attack made me unable to even speak. I can't even speak anymore. Douluo Er Xiaowu, I'm watching. You should write quickly. The water figures are not as watery as yours, right? If you are being so disrespectful, we readers will have an opinion. Chapter 17 Douluo Er Xiaowu vomits blood. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Speaking of words. 10,000 years after Tang San ascended to the God realm. Dai Yuhao, the true son of destiny on Douluo continent, is born. His father, Dai Hao, is the current White Tiger Duke of the Star Luo Empire. His mother Huiyuner was Dai Hao's maid. However, the Xinglua Dai family at that time was no longer the royal Dai family back then, and the family throne had been taken away by the Xingguan Su family. In order to restore the glory of his ancestors, and to get back the throne belonging to the Dai family from the Xingguan Su family, Dai Hao, who wanted to gain the support of his wife's family, turned a blind eye and looked at his wife and himself. His son slowly tortured his maid Huiyuner until she died. After another period of time, the 11-year-old Dai Yuhao couldn't stand the pressure from the Duchess and her son, so he chose to leave the Duke's palace and changed his name to Huiyuhao. At this point, the story of Douluo II officially begins. Huiyuner, the second Douluo, said, Yuhao, I'm really sorry for you. It's a pity that mommy can't be by your side to take care of you. The camera comes to the God realm. When Huiyuhao was born, Poseidon Tang San sensed the invincible potential of this new star. So, Tang San deliberately talked about Douluo continent in front of Xiao Wu, and followed the plan step by step to bring the topic to the newly born son of destiny. At this time, the naughty Tang Wudong was hiding in a place that he thought was very safe and eavesdropped on the conversation between Tang San and Xiao Wu. After Tang San and Xiao Wu finished talking, he secretly ran down to the God realm and came to Douluo continent. The big crit is coming. Douluo Er Xiaowu, I'm waiting. You have lost more than 400 words. In fact, with Tang San's strength, how could he not discover that his daughter was eavesdropping on the conversation between him and Xiao Wu? The reason why he didn't expose his daughter on the spot was because these words were meant to be spoken to his family. My daughter listened. Therefore, when Tang Wudong came down to Douluo continent, Tang San appeared in front of Tang Wudong. Then, Tang San completely ignored Tang Wudong's resistance and pain, and directly took Tang Wudong's soul out of her body, tearing her biological daughter's soul into 3 parts without any guilt. Douluo Er Xiaowu. Blood flowed from the corner of Xiao Wu's mouth and she fainted. If Zhu Zhuqing, the god of speed, hadn't guessed that this so-called big critical hit might be a big deal, he would have come over to see Xiao Wu. At this moment, Xiao Wu would have fallen to the ground instead of Zhu Zhuqing's arms. Rong Rong. You came just in time. Help Xiao Wu heal. After a pause, Zhu Zhuqing continued, those things back then were issues on Tang San's side, and they actually have little to do with Xiao Wu. I know. Ning Rongrong didn't say anything more and directly started to treat Xiao Wu. Soon, Xiao Wu woke up leisurely. Before she could thank her, she hurriedly looked at the copy of the diary. After splitting Tang Wudong's soul into 3, Tang San's explosion operation came again. He put one of his auxiliary souls into the body of the auspicious beast 3-eyed golden elephant King Chior. Douluo Er Guyuna, how brave, I dare to take my idea on the auspicious beast. Douluo Gu Yuna, this Tang San must not be allowed to become a god. Another deputy soul created Wang Donger, the young sect leader of Haotian sect. Well, it may also be called Wang Dong. If Wang Donger has gone to Shrek now, then he will be called Wang Dong. After all, she went there disguised as a man. A man named Wang Donger is not very suitable. Douluo Er Wang Dong, what? I'm actually Tang Wutong. No, I'm actually 1/3 of Tang Wutong. Then what am I now, that a biological father could be so ruthless, even unfeeling, to his biological daughter? Wang Dong suddenly felt that his future was dark. As for the last main soul of Tang Wutong, Tang San kept it beside him so that the two secondary souls could be forcibly controlled by the main soul when they didn't follow his plan. Douluo Er Xiaowu, Xiao Wu spat out another mouthful of blood, feeling extremely depressed. Zhu Zhuqing and Ning Rongrong beside them didn't know how to comfort Xiao Wu, so they could only support Xiao Wu and help her treat her. In fact, Tang San also had his reasons for doing this. Hearing this, Douluo Er Xiaowu perked up and looked at the copy of the diary expectantly, as if he wanted to see that Tang San was so ruthless and treated his biological daughter like this because he had no choice but to do so. I said it at the beginning. Hui Yuhao is truly the son of destiny in the entire Douluo continent. What is the son of luck? A child of luck means that no matter what he does, he can easily obtain a peerless treasure that no one else can exchange for with his life. For example, if you take the same stone, then the stone is just an ordinary stone. If the son of luck takes it, then the thing that looks like a stone may be a million-year-old soul bone. Now that we know what the son of destiny is, it's easy to guess what Tang San wants to do. First of all, children of luck can definitely grow up. With others, becoming a god is as difficult as ascending to heaven. In Son of Destiny, becoming a god is not much more difficult than eating and sleeping. But Tang San has already regarded the entire god realm and the entire Douluo continent as his own back garden, so how could he allow an unstable factor to appear? However, if there is a fight, Hui Yuhao, the Son of Destiny, can definitely beat Tang San to the point where even A-in can't recognize him. Douluo A-in, I can recognize it. He has the blood of the Blue-Silver Emperor. A-in said a little depressed. In the Douluo era 10,000 years ago, Tang San's fourth spirit ring was the 10,000-year level spirit ring he absorbed. For this reason, Tang San also caused a great sensation among the superpowers. But compared with Hui Yuhao, the Son of Destiny, the fourth soul ring is at the 10,000-year level, which is nothing. Hui Yuhao's first soul ring is a million-year-old one. That's right, it's not 100-year level, but a million-year level. Douluo 1 and Douluo 2 girls. This news has already made the girls of Douluo 1 and Douluo 2 feel so horrified that they are at a loss for words. Some female protagonists, and female protagonists even thought that there was something wrong with their eyes due to reading the diary for a long time. Hui Yuner, the second Douluo, said, "Why is this child so ignorant? Can you covet a million-year soul ring? What if something happens to you? Mom will always be mom. Others will only notice Hui Yuhao's million-year soul ring. Only Hui Yuner is concerned about whether Hui Yuhao will be in danger because of it."